Hello, this is James Tucker, and this is my wife, Patricia. She's
Hello.
also my co-director and producer. And we are looking at and giving you commentary on our film, Lunatic.
This is at my aunt's house in
And-
California.
And what city did she live in?
Paramount.
Oh, Paramount, yes. And I had found out that she had a nice pool, and I asked Patricia, obviously, as the producer, to ask her if we could use her great backyard for this opening scene for the doctor. And so we see the doctor here, and he has all his women around, and we set it up that he's, corrupt and, a womanizer, and so he's there having fun and chasing the girls around the pool. So yeah, and it was a good shoot day we did that day, and all the actresses were interested and enthusiastic.
Yeah, she looked familiar.
Yeah, I have to look in the credits to try and remember their names. It was such a long time ago. As I was telling Patricia before we started the commentary, that I probably haven't watched this whole film from beginning to end in over 30 years.
Yes. They were all very good too.
Yes. And even you'll see in the next little bit when he comes out of here, I told him to improvise with the girls once he got in the hot tub, and he started to get a little bit carried away. His name was Bruce.
Oh, Bruce.
And
Okay.
he acted in a couple of other films for me after this one.
I wonder what he's doing now.
Yeah, I haven't looked him up in years. Sometimes I look up some of the actors that were in our old films to see if they went on to do more projects. Let me turn this volume down a little bit so I can make sure you guys can hear us. Yeah, I think I had it a little bit loud, but I hope that you could hear our introduction and everything. Again, I'm James, and this is Patricia, and this is Lunatic. And so Bruce was having a really good time in the hot tub with the girls.
With those young girls.
And so yeah, I filmed a bunch of extra footage that I ended up not using with him and them playing around.
Mm-hmm.
So and this is his assistant. She got a call, and the whole mood changes. And he was a good character actor. He could switch pretty good. And this is Bernardo. And any of you guys that may recognize from one of our earlier films, Steps from Hell.
He was a star of Steps from Hell.
Yes. And in this movie, he's playing the psychiatrist who's in charge of the mental asylum, and he works for the doctor here at the pool. And notice the 1980s mobile phone with the case and everything.
Do you still have that?
No, I don't still have that. We had that left over from the 80s, and we used it in this as a prop so he could get a phone call out at the pool. It worked out nicely. And I love this little bit at the end when the two girls look at him. Because a lot of times when I hire actors for small parts, there might not be any scripted dialogue for them, but I always try to work in, even if it's one or two lines for them, to make it worth their while so they have something for their reel.
Yes.
And this is Ted Singer. He was in a couple of projects with us.
Oh,
And yes, he was a good character actor.
Yeah.
And he was a friend of another actress who did some projects with me, Coffee Wright. And she had brought Ted on.
Is he the one that did the projects in Sierra Madre?
No, that's not. You're talking about the gardener.
Okay.
But no, Ted was a character actor, and him and Coffee had worked on some projects earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of my favorite bits too. A nice practical bit that I love. I love all practical effects. Obviously, I didn't have access to character generated effects, so this was a good practical bit we did. Patricia's gonna remember it when she opens it.
Oh yeah. I didn't like that.
I went to the bait and tackle
that's
store,
disgusting.
and we got a bunch of night crawlers, and just for animal rights out there, none of those night crawlers were harmed, and they were released for freedom into the forest.
Yes.
Yes. Right after that shot, I made sure that we released them in some shady area down by the water.
Yes. This was up in the Angeles Forest?
Yes, the Angeles National Forest.
Yeah.
So
That
at this,
was our favorite shooting spot.
we used to call that our back lot. We shot like a couple of, well, 2 or 3 features up there. And like I said, this was in the 90s, so the early 90s. So there were no, no problems that you have today about,
It was clean.
clean. It was clean. There was no litter. There was no encampments. It was, as you can see, it was pristine wilderness. No dumping up there. We didn't see piles of garbage or anything.
Nowhere.
It was really a great location that we ended up using.
Which this location?
Oh, let me fix my mic. Excuse me. It's starting to dip into the picture. We don't want that. Okay, here we go. All right, there we go. Oh, this is Brian's house. He was one of the lead actors. You'll see him later.
Oh, I remember that.
And we shot his house out in the
in
Antelope Valley or something.
In Moreno Valley.
Moreno Valley, yes.
And I liked her. She was very good.
I think her name was Rookie. I think, yeah. And these 2 characters were patterned after real characters people I knew in my life when I grew up in New Jersey. And it was a husband and wife that would argue all the time. And they were friends of one of our neighborhood friends. So we would hear them arguing all the time. And when I was writing the script, I thought of them and I used them and they were a mixed race couple, I think. And they used to argue all the time.
Oh, I remember him.
His name was Brian
Brian.
DeLawrence, I think.
Okay.
And he this was his house. He allowed us to use his house, his parents' house, and it worked out really nicely. But if you look back, you'll see another cutaway to it again later. On the television, the program that he's watching, and I think I used it throughout the movie, whenever anyone's watching television, they're watching one of the first home video / movies that Patricia and I made together when we were dating. We shot it in Woodbine at my grandmother's house, and all our family came together for like a small family reunion. And we got them all to act in little parts.
That was a lot of fun.
And I ended up using that as the television programs inside LUNATIC.
You know that. The movie's fine, okay? Those mountains are a real wilderness.
So she did a great job. Both of them did a really good job. And they got into character, insulting each other constantly. It was a fun bit.
I can read a compass.
And there's a little bit coming up. There's a little bit coming up where Brian couldn't stop laughing. You'll notice Brian is the son right there, and you'll see him. I'll point it out. His father's about to do some kind of wisecrack to his mother. Now watch him try to cover his laughing. So, and I noticed it, so I tried to panned away as quick as I could, because we were shooting this on Super 8 film, and we didn't have
precious.
Yes, we had a very low shooting ratio, probably almost 2 to 1 or less. And a lot of the dialogue that he said came from my real father. He would say stuff like that. And this is Max. I forgot. Oh yeah, I remember his name too. His name is Keith Willow, I think.
Okay.
I think it's Keith.
Congratulations on the graduation. Thanks.
And when you open this, watch Patricia. Let's see it. He gave him a card, a graduation card. But see if you recognize that check.
Oh, that's one of ours.
That's one of our checks. My personal account. And he did a good job too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
took the role seriously, and that's one thing we always use at a good time, finding good good actors.
yeah. And they always came knowing their lines,
Right.
and they were very easy to work with. And we're always very easy to
Right.
work with on the set, but they were very easy to work with, and
And they
put
enjoyed
up a lot
it.
with
Yes,
long
yes.
hours.
Long hours. And this is the movie again, Oh Shut Up. This is the family movie we made and I used throughout the movie. That was my sister Andrea right there in that scene. And the character I patterned this after, the husband would always say, all you do is watch TV and eat ding-dongs and ho-hos. And I got her some ho-hos for the scene.
I just don't want that brother of yours going on no week-long camping trip.
Look, she has it all around.
All around her mouth. And the rollers and her little teddy bear.
Mm-hmm. Did she bring her own costume?
Yes, she brought her own costume. Yep.
Yeah, the actors were good because you tell them the characters and they would bring their own costumes. And
Right.
that was really good.
And they helped us keep track of stuff because everything. Patricia was in charge of everything like that, like the wardrobe continuity, craft services, everything.
Just say everything.
And we even have some behind the scenes photos that I included on the DVD that shows Patricia even pushing me on the dolly at some points.
Yeah.
I love their arguing and bickering.
I want my dinner. I want my goddamn dinner.
And I always thought while I was shooting this, I thought that it would be great if I ever made a part 2, I would make them more prominent.
Yeah.
And focus more on their relationship and, you know, make it about them almost because they were so good. And this is you said Moreno Valley. Yeah, that's what
Moreno
it was.
Valley
Right.
in east, like in San Bernardino or Riverside County in California.
Yeah, it's like the whole city at that time was just being built up. I guess.
Yes, it was
underdeveloped.
nothing. It was like really small, but now it's over the last 30 years. It's really
Very
built up.
big. Yes. It was a lot of home developments and stuff. And as you can notice, they have no trees almost in the neighborhood. And I forgot his name. He did a great job too.
Oh, I
also.
remember his face.
Yeah.
I remember him.
Like I said,
He was really nice.
everybody's name is in the end credits. And I'd have to even refer to it myself after all this time. Oh, and this station wagon belonged to, I think it belonged to the husband. And it was a great old station wagon. And we used that as the prop car. You can notice our dolly move. This was the first feature that we used, a dolly that we had rented from the production house. Got some good dolly moves.
Fuck you, one fat belly bitch.
And so all these insults I learned as a kid from my brother, from my friends' mother and father. And yeah, they had a very tumultuous relationship, to say the least.
Oh, that's Andrea.
There's my sister, Andrea,
with the pink shirt.
with the pink shirt. And she was a star in, she was in one of my first Super 8 feature, which was Steps from Hell. She had one scene in that.
Were we living there?
Yes, this was the apartment building we lived in
That's one on Sycamore?
over by Griffith Park.
That one.
Yeah. Where the train was in Griffith Park. Mm-hmm. And look at this. I caught this shot of a guy coming down on some kind of weird raised bike.
Oh gosh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And remember the steps?
This happened, yeah.
Remember the steps she used to walk up and down for
This
exercise?
is 30 years, because it was about 91.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Morgan was out.
Our daughter was just born.
Yes.
A little while.
And we even took her on the set. We took her on the set in a little bassinet covered with a mosquito blanket all around.
She wasn't not even 2 months old.
Right. And look at all the stuff they brought for a camping trip. A camping trip where they're supposed to go hiking in the woods.
She sounds like mine.
She does sound like
mine now. I didn't realize her voice was so high.
They all did a good job. And this is one of our rare driving shots. Patricia's driving, and I'm shooting out of, I can't remember what vehicle we had at that time. But it came out relatively good.
Pretty good for 30 years ago.
I had made some kind of homemade car mount that I had the camera mounted on in my car. And I got a stable shot. And this is Tim. He acted in a number of our films over the years. And this sign we had printed up at the local one of the printing area shops down in Los Angeles. And Tim was in one of our very first movies called, which I have to re-edit actually. I have a rough cut of it, but I've never done a complete edit on it. And that was in 1987 or 88. And it was called Into the Fire. And it starred Tim and a well-known actor, Morris Chestnut, who is big time now. His new series right now is People Like Us.
Yeah, and he went straight. He actually went from our set to film Boys in the Hood.
He wrapped our movie and he got cast in Boys in the Hood. Well, he got cast right before we finished. And he just kept on going big time after that, left us in the dust.
Ray Walker's a very dangerous young man. I have him on a new mood management drug. This drug changes the chemical makeup.
And this is the same location where Bernardo was Vlad in
Steps from Hell.
Steps from Hell.
Look, he moved the mic down. He was very good. He was very, you know.
That was my attempt at adding, because we wanted to make Lunatic, which we did, a dark comedy. And that's why I added little bits like this. And look, Tim is wearing my jacket. How big it is on him. And Bernardo is always professional, brought his own pocket protector and pens.
Really into character.
Yes.
Put on the glasses, everything.
So, in his mind, he's killing the people who murdered his mother. Exactly.
So this is the setup of why the lunatic is in the asylum. And Bernardo was trying some new drugs to see if he could cure him. But unfortunately, the drugs have a real bad side effect.
Which you get to see in a little while.
Right. And we love this view. Oh, this is one of my favorite.
Forest, right?
Entering the Angeles Forest, right?
And now all of that has houses on it. That whole section has houses. Yeah, I was up there. Steve lived there, and I went up, and he lived right off of Highway 39.
Yeah, Highway 39. In a zoo, you enter it through Azusa. And so this is the part where actually that garbage can is the can where the homeless guy just found the clothes and went off into the woods. But so this is where they decided to park and
in the middle of nowhere.
To regroup in the middle of nowhere, and they just left the car. But those were the great old '90s. No traffic. Oh, and this music was created by, I think it was Tony. Yes. Tony, I can never say his name correctly. His last name Zawinul. But his father was a famous musician, a jazz musician. And Tony also followed in his father's foottracks and started doing a lot of music for movies and stuff. And I think he went on to continue to do music for movies and compose his own music and stuff. So yeah, he was really he really helped me out a lot on this. And I got this little bit with the fake little bug and spider from one of my friends, Douglas Hampton, who passed away a few years ago. He used to do stuff like that to me on the way home from school. We'd be walking, and Douglas would have a little branch, and he would take that little branch and he would tickle me on the back of the ear or the back of the neck. And I the first couple of times I always would think it was something until I realized it was him. He was a good guy. Died unexpectedly a number of years ago. And they made a good couple. And then when I think about the film, I always realize that I had wrote the role for my sister, so I didn't give her no romantic scenes. You'll see later this couple has romantic scenes, and I didn't realize it until years later that I didn't write them any romantic, and I didn't want her to be kissing anybody.
So, John, where are we headed?
Let's see, right there.
How far is it?
Only 27 miles from the start point.
Oh.
Don't worry, sugar. It's a walk in the park.
Well, if I get tired, you'll carry me, right? You too.
Right, you like a stallion. All right, let's just go and have stuff.
So yeah, and we did that scene. We did that scene relatively quick because it was really hot out that day.
Oh my
And,
God, the Angeles Forest at
sometimes
that
really hot.
time was very hot.
Yes. And so here's where Ted discovers the escaped lunatic, Ray Walker. Yeah, I forgot his name. Ray Walker. And Patricia had made that, I think you made that badge, that hospital badge.
He can't pick him up.
And Rocky wanted to do a scene, Herman Tucker, his nickname is Rocky. He was like, maybe I should do it without my underwear. I said, no, we shouldn't do it. You know how you wear the hospital gown without the underwear on the back. And so he had his shorts on underneath there.
A young man.
Yep. And so yeah, he was real out of it. Ted is gonna take care of him.
Look at this.
And he just so happened to find some pants the right size.
In the dump.
What do you say, huh? Why
So, and Rocky did a really good job having that fit there. I only asked him to do it maybe 2 or 3 times, and
all the stuff coming.
Yeah, coming out of his mouth. I think that was green pea soup that we used as our expectorant. So he's really taking care of him. He gives him his own hat, and that was the hat we had. I can't remember where we got that hat, but we knew that was going to be the signature hat for LUNATIC, and we had some of the artwork done. And Alex Diaz, who also did our special effects, we took some photos of Rocky when the hat was in, like, when we first got him, it was in pristine condition, and he used that hat in the wardrobe to create some original box art. And I wish I still had some copies of it. And Alex Diaz again did the special effects. He made a cast of Ted's face, and for the head, this head gag right here. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's where we were. We weren't living there yet.
No.
That was where your parents were.
Right. My parents lived in this building. It's an old building in kind of like a historical building in Hollywood called the Castle Argyle, and we did a lot of shooting there. We shot a feature there called with some of my 2 other producer friends of mine. I think that was one of the first things we shot, or did we? No, we did it after this.
Look, they're still watching the.
Yeah, I'm using that same thing. He's having flashbacks of his cheating wife, and he's watching the same. Well, not that part, but the other part. He's watching the same whole movie part.
Oh, so what in the movie he caught his wife cheating?
Yes, and that's why he started drinking, and we made, me and my brother Herman Rocky, who plays the lunatic. We always had this running joke of all B movies from the 80s, where the ex-Vietnam veteran has a drinking problem and had relationship problems, and that's why we decided to give that to Max.
No.
As that stereotypical.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in so long. I forgot about most of the stuff here.
Yeah, so he's tormented. He's a tormented soul, and he ends up playing a big role in the. And what we did was, I can't remember where we got that bottle from, but we put in. It was supposed to be. I think it was.
Wine. Supposed to be
no, it was supposed to be Southern Comfort. So we put in iced tea.
No.
And these 2 guys did a really good job too. Mm-hmm. I can't remember where I met both of them. I think we cast them those, but the little one, he was really good. He was really good. I think he went on to do some bigger stuff also. Again, it's been so long, I'd have to refer to the credits to remember their names.
That's the great thing. We were cast very well. You have several people who were in our movies early on that went on to do.
Yes.
You know.
Because see, even though we never treated any of these movies as a B movie, as you can see, we're using tripods, we're using dollies, we're using cranes.
Different shots.
Exactly. We're hiring special effects people, and we rehearsed, and and the casting process. We took that seriously also. We didn't just cast the first person who walked in the door. We had a full casting process with callbacks. And it was really an interesting process when we were first starting out working together on these projects, because we hadn't been in Los Angeles for not even
a year
yet. Well, a little over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this was 91. Okay,
This was 91,
yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah,
Step
first
from
one,
Hell.
very first
Yeah,
one.
this had been there a
Couple of years. Yeah. And we even took our time. We even took our time to try to add in some development, trying to build in a little bit of suspense, and as you can see, we got the coverage we needed, and took our time. Tried to take our time. And again, the music, original soundtrack by Tony Zawinul, and scored to the movie. And I let him take control of that, and he did a really great job. I told him the kind of feel I like, the classical kind of suspense stuff, and he really did a good job. And we got another special effects coming up by Alex, which turned out.
And he's
really
just
well.
standing there watching.
Right.
Oh, he's in shock.
And I think I still have this rigged prop that Alex created for us, the spike in the chest prop.
And look at Rocky just standing with his hands on his hips, like waiting for him to
collapse.
And putting his, like, okay, you're taking too long.
And I wanted to make sure that all of our effects got seen. So sometimes I lingered on them a little bit too long.
And this other guy didn't start running.
No, watch. He's gonna try to. This is the funny part too, where he tries to fight. And we did a little bit of choreographing. I told Rocky what I wanted, and then I let Rocky do most of the choreographing on the fights and stuff. And I gave him a vague idea of what I wanted, and then they worked it out.
like a dance.
A dance move.
Salsa.
And Rocky had no problem picking up people and stuff. And just had to always make sure the actors were comfortable. And that Rocky didn't hurt him.
Yes.
So yeah, it worked out really well. And that's Alex doing all of our effects and blood, and we had worked all those out in advance with Alex. Oh, that's over at the top of Angela's Forest. At the very top, there was a lake up there called Crystal Lake. And I always wondered if that was what Crystal Lake in the Jason movies was based on, because it actually looked like the movie from the movie. And we want you to go all the way to the top. And they did made a really good couple. And there was a lot of bugs out that day, so they had to ignore them, and it was really hard. If you look closely, you can see the bugs swirling around.
Oh my gosh!
And they did good ignoring them. I'm behind the camera, trying my best to ignore them also, so I can focus on what I'm doing. And I was able to also, but they did a really good job. And we did the scene. Obviously, we always shot relatively quickly. We would rehearse, and then we plan everything out. I had everything all planned out, and a really detailed shot list of what I wanted. So I wasn't standing around trying to figure out what I wanted. I explained it to the actors, and then we would rehearse a couple times, and then we'd do it. And then I'd move in for coverage like this. I really like this scene where we were able to build up a little bit of tension there, where she's going out to get the twigs to start the fire. And worked out well. And as you see this coming up, well, if you listen to the commentary, you probably saw it already, but coming up is a great effect that Alex does. And right when we're on it, I'll show you something he did. He smokes cigars, so I'll show you how he even uses his cigars for an improvised fog machine. And the actress did good because she didn't complain. But that's one thing we always tried to do too. We made people aware of what we were going to do, exactly. And we didn't.
So it wasn't.
And so she goes out to get the wood and comes back, and he's still trying to get the tent set up. He's trying to get the fire started, and we did a lot of inner cutting on these, which I really enjoy. That gives me the ability to lengthen or shorten the sequence.
He's trying to light a piece of paper.
Right, he's trying to use a piece of paper to start the kindling that she's supposed to come back with. So. And she really went far to get that wood. So he almost burned himself. Right? He wasn't a real Boy Scout, but he got it going. And they really had a good time with that scene too, because they did a good job. And then we finally I think Alex came in and really got the fire going for us. And then here comes our lunatic. And he had one of the easiest deaths in the whole movie. And then here she comes. He's gone. Fire's burning nice, and he didn't get the tent set up.
I remember that water bottle thing.
Yeah, canteen. I was about to say.
Canteen.
We thinking so much alike. I was about to say. Remember, we went out and we went to some Army surplus stores and we got all the camping stuff that we needed, and we picked out all the camping stuff for the movie, and we ended up keeping it. We might have even used it a couple of times. And now this little burn on her finger Alex did was a nice little touch. He thought of that to show how that little burn hurt her so bad. And when you see what happens to her, it's going to make it even more powerful and painful. And this effect coming up, I think Alex did some kind of casting on the side of her face or something like that, where he made this effect you're about to see. And the reason this turned out to be one of the moments where something bad happens as far as the camera goes, but I ended up using it to my advantage. Something happened during the exposure of this portion of the film, and the color was off. It was the only time in the whole movie I had some kind of bad experience with the developing, and but I ended up using it creatively and slowing it down, and it made the shot more interesting actually. And here's the effect where Alex came in. He did the effect on her face, the burn effect, which worked out really well. And then on this upcoming close-up, he used his cigar as an improvised smoke machine. You can kind of see it there, but I think it comes in really close. Yeah, there it goes. He used his cigar as an improvised smoke machine. And he got close and he pumped the smoke under her hair. And then he stepped out of frame while I was shooting it. And it gave it that really nice effect as if smoke was coming off her face.
That's good.
And I think I realized I just noticed something that was at the end of that reel. So it could have been something to do with the exposure
Is this
of the
still
film.
in the Angeles Forest?
Yes, this is still in, I think this is still part in the Angeles Forest. We did shoot some in the Angeles Forest and some in Griffith Park Forest also. Griffith Park stuff is somewhere near the end, I think, too. But no, this was all in the deep Angeles Forest. I think, I think so. And these were, I love these shots because I had a long focal length. I had a Canon, one of the higher quality Super 8 cameras, and had a really long focal lens built in. So I was able to get up high and get some really high view and also wide vistas with that lens. It was a great lens. Yeah, like these shots of them coming to the forest turned out really well. I was really happy with those.
And the scenery is very nice too.
Yes.
Oh, look, they're carrying the same water bottle.
Oh, yeah. And I wish that I could have, before we released this, I was wishing I could have remastered it, but the process is so expensive because the Super 8 film, the original Super 8 film, when projected, it was so beautiful. I mean, this copy you guys have on the DVD is excellent, and it's the highest quality that we have available. But it's amazing because people who shoot video nowadays, they don't even realize the quality that Super 8 used to put out. It was amazing, even though it was such a small format of film. And this actor, I forgot his name also.
Why is he
was a martial arts expert. Rocky's the killer's already after him. So this is some scenes where I took from Patricia, starting the scenes in progress and sometimes even getting out of them right as soon as it was over with, or almost before they were over with. So this scene started in progress. And he was a martial arts expert, and him and I had talked about, he was from India, and him and I talked about going over to, not India, he was somewhere Barbados. He was from Barbados. And his family was like well known in Barbados. And we had talked about going over to Barbados and making some television, but it never panned out. And he was a good actor too. And he was good. He had done some stuff before this, and I think he did some after it. And she was a good actress too. I think she had stopped acting after this. She came to LA to act, and then she got into some other career. I forgot her name though. And also too, there's a fight coming up with him, as if it's a martial artist. And so he choreographed the fight with him and Rocky. And you'll see a stunt that he does that I was nervous about. And even Rocky was like, you sure? We did it. Would have worked out good. And so we finally got our tent set up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember. Once I see their faces.
Their faces, you remember.
I remember.
Susan Spain.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so he choreographed all this martial arts with him and Rocky, and it worked out really well. And then, this was one of the few scenes in the movie that I went handheld on their fight, and I think that worked out really nice. Got good coverage and had some movement into the scene. Because I love to shoot most of my stuff on tripod, so it gives us that stable, traditional high budget look.
Which is it's coming up.
Right. Oh, here it comes. It's coming up right here. This is the effect when Rocky kills him.
Oh.
And then he let Rocky drag him by his neck. Coming up right after this. And we were both nervous about him dragging him by his neck like that. Yeah. And it worked out good.
There you go.
So now he's got, and this is one of the shots I was telling you about, from a high vista looking down. There was a large hill, and I was able to get up there, and I had this really great zoom lens built into the camera, a Canon 1012 XL, I think. No, Elmo 1012 XL. I was obsessed with those cameras.
We had bought
a lot of them, until I came across the Elmo, and it took 200-foot cartridges of Super 8 film. Oh, it was beautiful. And expensive, right?
Yes. Very expensive.
And this shot, Alex thought of me to do a handheld tracking shot, which I had never done before. And it turned out relatively well for my first time.
It's like
and
very action.
Yes, I'm glad he told me. He said, why don't you do this? And I was like, okay, let me try it. And it worked out really well. And Alex went on to direct some independent projects also. He's a special effects and a director, but he's really known now for his special effects. He's got and this was a scene where I took it over the top as far as it, trying to stop her from panicking.
Nowadays it would be fun.
No, it wouldn't be funny, right. People would be after me now if I did this scene. But and then she's gonna.
But in the whole scene, he freaked out from seeing his friend die, and he just went crazy.
So he just beat his girlfriend up, and now he's gonna have to help her. But the lunatic's gonna get his revenge for her. Yeah, that would have been an inappropriate scene nowadays. And I just did. We did the scene relatively easily. The fight, we wanted to keep the fighting to a minimum, and Rocky thought of this to hold him back. Swing like a little scene from the Little Rascals. And he was a great trooper letting Rocky throw him down. And I still have this prop rock that he uses to beat his head in with. We got that from some special effects shop in Hollywood. And it was a simple, practical effect. It worked really well.
And if you're out in the woods, that's about what you
mostly have, right. So she takes her machete and she's about to decide what she wants to do. And I stole this from Indiana Jones.
She should be able to outrun him.
Yes. I still laugh at the scene with Indiana Jones when the guy has the fancy knives and he's flipping them around, and then Indiana Jones just pulls out his gun and shoots him. That was an improvised scene, I think, as the story goes. And this was a great effect that Alex made for us too. He had cast her whole head, and once you see it, you'll see it that a really good likeness. I think he had worked with her. I didn't get a real close up of it, and then Alex thought of that too, like where she's still moving, like the chicken with the head cut off. So the lunatic is just running wild, and they're heading right into his hunting ground. And again, these wide vistas that I loved to shoot, to build up, establishing character and setting the environment for the story. And then our little comedy relief with this couple. She can't stand the bugs and the nature.
We should make it to Summit by what? Say tomorrow about 2 or 3? No, I said by noon we should be there.
And Brian, he did a good job too.
They all did very well.
Yeah. And now we're back at the home with the mother and father again out in Moreno Valley. And this is one of my favorite scenes. This is built off of the same couple I mentioned earlier. And one of their arguments, I don't know how I found out about this argument, but it always stuck in my mind. And this is, these stories
it's the
are from
one
when
I
was a
think you're going to
teenager.
say.
Yeah.
And it's the one, remember we would joke around?
Right. It's coming up. And I would just hear those. I mean, I'm a teenager and I hear all these stories about his family arguing, mother and father. And again, this is the family movie, Oh Shut Up, That We Shot. That's Andrea right there.
Who
She's
is now playing
in the movie.
in
Right, who's playing Marley in the movie. And she picked her own name. She asked me if she could name the character Marley. She was obsessed with Bob Marley. And that's my brother Anthony. They were all still in high school at that time. And she's preparing her husband's fish sticks.
That's a lot of fish sticks. look at the old-fashioned microwave.
Right. And look how they turned out of the microwave, all burnt.
And she's dropping the food and everything.
Look at his face.
They were good.
Yeah, they were.
Because you can look at it 30 years later and still laugh.
Still laugh.
You asked for fish, didn't you?
Where's the roll?
Now this is it. Where's the rolls? And Sam Mato's like, you give me fish with no rolls.
Where the goddamn roll?
And I still to this day I always laugh about that sometimes whenever Patricia and I cook fish. And she tells me, I ask her, where's the rolls? Where's the rolls? You give me fish with no rolls. That's one comedy thing from that I'll never forget.
Here's your rolls. Shut up!
She was very good. I
Yeah,
liked her.
yeah.
Both of them.
Yes, they did a really great job.
Look at all those fish sticks.
Right. And there's Tim again, the newsman doing his news. Like I said, he ended up doing a lot of stuff with us over the years.
Excuse me.
And you can see our light kit in the back. See that back there in the case. Yeah.
You gotta go get him.
You shitting me?
And I can't remember where that Snoopy phone came from. I think that was actually there already. And this was inside of our apartment in the one where they were just outside when they were getting picked up by the car by
yeah,
Griffith
they
Park.
got the windows over there. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's
There's our movie posters. It's amazing seeing all this stuff where we used to live. Oh, remember that phone? I love that phone. It had voicemail capacity and retrieving messages and call forwarding. I thought it was fancy back then. We used it for our business.
All right, I'll go first thing in the morning.
So she had to call her ex-Vietnam struggling alcoholic son to go save the kids.
I'll get him.
He decides, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna keep my head clear.
It's the best liver you've ever tasted.
I'm good here, look.
He reaches down.
I'm using the same story again that I used. She's telling the story around the campfire. This is the story my mother used to tell us, Johnny on the First Step. And that's what our first movie, Steps from Hell, or our second movie actually, was patterned off of. So she's telling the campfire story.
Runs off home. So he gets home, and his mom is real pissed that he took that long. But anyway, she just looks up.
And again, that's my sister Andrea. And she grew up listening to these stories told by my mother.
Johnny's dad's like, damn, Johnny, this is the best liver I've
Oh,
ever tasted.
and one interesting thing, this campfire location at night is actually in the backyard of the house that we're using for the mother and the father. So we were able to get away with just lighting the area where they were in the fire. And right beyond them is the backyard of the house. And it really worked out nicely.
Real quiet. And Johnny hears that same voice that he heard in the graveyard. Johnny, I'm coming to get you, Johnny. Johnny runs to the window, but he doesn't see anybody. Then he gets back in the
And
bed.
yeah,
The boy
again, this
sees
is the
even
story that
worse.
we all grew up. Her,
Johnny,
my sister and brothers.
I told you
My mother
not
used to
to
tell us all
tell
kinds of stories.
Johnny.
Some she would make up, some she would get from other places and
Johnny.
tell us she made it up.
Johnny, Johnny, I'm coming to get you.
But they really stuck with me. And I always used to love to try to work in real life stuff into our films, like characters and stories and people. I based a lot of my characters on people that I actually knew.
Johnny, I'm coming to get you. Johnny's crying, peeing, doing everything. He's petrified.
And if you listen real closely, you can hear a little bit of police activity in the background.
Stop. You are
And it's so great to see, like, especially like my sister, because now she's a grown woman with all her own kids and family and everything. And back then she was, just getting into acting. She had done a few movies on the East Coast, and she was really focused on her acting. And I was always planning to ride on her coattails, because she was really good, really, really, really good. So she's checking out to make sure the friends are asleep before she makes a move. Her name was Bronwyn.
Bronwyn?
Bronwyn St. John, I think. It's funny how the names come back to me. So yeah, and then this was all shot in the backyard of the house where we were out in Moreno Valley. So we had a great control situation. I added them in as my comedy relief. So we should always kept our movies PG-13. And so this is the next morning, and we are back in the, we're either in Griffith Park. I think we might be in Griffith Park here. Yeah, I think so. I can't remember. Because we used Angeles Forest when we needed to see like big vistas.
Right.
And then after that, mostly everything was medium and close-ups. So we started shooting in Griffith Park.
Yeah, that's what the club quote
yeah,
is Griffith Park.
Yeah. And she's trying to fix her hair. And all of our newly bought camping gear came in really useful. I thought I had a scene in there where they were actually cooking. Oh, I did. Yeah, here it is. They actually cooked the bacon. I thought I had a scene where we were cooking. And that worked out nice. And everything got messed
That's
up.
all
the food got messed up. I think he cooked some eggs. Oh yeah, he cooked some eggs too. I forgot about that. He cooked the bacon and eggs, and he had only one pan in that little grill, so he had to take the turn. And those little egg holders we had there. Oh yeah, the bacon really did get cooked because she would be able to eat some. And the eggs didn't look so hot. And this is one of my favorite bits about the breakfast thing too, with Andrea when she gets ready to, when he walks away. And so this is what we did. We did a makeshift driving scene where I think Rocky was behind the car shaking it a little bit.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And he's making his way up to go save the kids.
Improvised.
Yep. And I think that car, I can't remember what that car was. It was a Miata or something. No, it was his. And it was a really popular car at that time. I think it was a Miata or I can't remember. When I see the full shot of the car, I'll remember. But it was so popular that people would buy the car and then resell it at a higher price. And he said that 4 times people had come to his house and tried to steal the car. And he said each time he was able to catch them. They would take the car and they would just put it in neutral and then start trying to push it down the street so they could steal it. It was such a popular car at that time. I can't remember what it was, but he said 4 times different people had came and tried to steal that car from him. And it wasn't like it was at that time, it was relatively expensive for that time, but it was just such a popular car. I can't remember what it was. As soon as I see it again, we have a full shot of it coming up near the end of the movie. Yeah, now we're back up in the Angeles Forest where I could get all my beautiful wide shots. The only thing I wish I had 16:9 was invented at that time. I could have lingered even more.
Oh my gosh. It's good just the way it is.
My nephew loves this movie. He watches it over and over.
He knows every word. He knows everybody's lines. He knows everything about this movie.
Because the movie was done and completed before he was even born. So he grew up actually watching it and commenting on it.
Stop spraying that crap.
I can't take these bugs anymore today.
And because his mother was the star, so he watched it over and over.
He gets
and
to see
over.
her talking
and young,
right. Talking and moving and
yeah.
things like that.
Which is great.
Somebody up here on the ground.
And this scene turned out really well. Able to build. This is the first time I concentrated on building in suspense and building up tension. And it worked out really nice for my first feature like this, where I really concentrated on the story and the characters. And again, Alex with some nice makeup and bruises. Or you might have did that, because every day we didn't have Alex. Some days Patricia did bruises and blood,
that
simple
was
stuff.
pretty good though.
Yeah.
That might have been Alex.
Oh.
No, did this. This girl was beaten by a person. She's in shock. We gotta get her help.
So this is our turning point of the story, when they realize something is going on.
I can make it to the road in a couple hours. You guys stay with her.
I'm coming with you.
I can move faster without you.
You know I ran cross country. I can probably beat you there.
Okay, let's move out. You guys stay right here. Move back.
Big mistake.
Don't separate.
So they're gonna run all the way back, all that way that just took them to get up there, which was funny. And
at high speed.
Luckily, Andrea had her first aid kit with her, and these were some beautiful landscapes. Oh, and Rocky spent the night up here one night. We were shooting by himself, and I was. Patricia told me later, and I didn't think about it until years later. She said, "You shouldn't have let him stay up there," and he stayed.
He was
the whole
only
night
a
up there by himself.
teenager. He was a teenager, and he didn't have anything,
supplies or anything.
No and
tent,
when he was out, like, we shouldn't leave him, and you said he wanted to stay up there. Yeah. But thankfully, the next morning we went up there early, and he was fine.
And he was up on the mountain on the top. And he even said years later, he said, when I saw you guys actually driving down that hill, I thought, did I make a mistake? But he really got into character. And this was the first, in this scene, this was one of the first, well, no, he did have a fight with that other guy in the martial arts, yeah. And I think this is the scene, something comes up funny in this scene that I used, one of the special effects we used, when Rocky chokes him. And, this is it, where he chokes him and he spits up. And then
and he brings him up.
he spits it in Rocky's face. we used clam, a New England clam chowder. I was actually in front of Rocky with a can of clam chowder, dumping it on him into his mouth. And then she does and Alex did this, was one of our good effects here, where he rips the guy apart and he pulls out his heart.
I would have started running and killing myself. I wouldn't wait.
And then we did the beating heart effect, which Alex did. He did a really good job. I had it pumping in the back. And she did, I love this scene. This is one of my favorite scenes too, where she's running in the woods, panicked. You know, she did a really good job. I used this in the trailer.
Yeah, she was good.
Uh-huh.
Because it's like after
Like,
seeing
she thinks
that.
about and then we did one of those stop running in place shots, which worked out really well, short. But yeah, this is whenever all the tension starts building up and all the turmoil.
You think she can make it?
I don't know, Joey. If BJ and Linda can get out quick enough, she might. She's in shock.
And now some.
That was probably
Yeah, that was probably you.
Yeah, that looks pretty
Yeah,
simple.
yeah. And again, we had some nice. That area was just so great, so great.
She did really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know where she's going, trying to get back to her friends. And I remember this was probably one of our longest days that were up there. We had a lot of pages to cover in that day, and we got it all done. And we had a lot of actors up there, I think, that day, because we might have did some of those previous fight scenes this day also.
Since we were there.
Yeah.
How's she doing?
She moved the negative, things she might make it.
And they were lucky because the insects, we were lucky. These insects didn't swarm them like in this part, like in the other previous scenes when the camper got burned by the fire. And this is one of my favorite scenes with her and Andrea. Andrea goes to her to comfort her. So yeah, this scene I really liked when Bronwyn and Andrea were together.
Yeah, they were really good
Yeah,
together. They were natural. Like
Yeah,
they
and
were
they
really
played
friends for a
off
long time.
exactly. They played off of each other, which really worked out well. And then let's turn this up a little bit so I can hear what's going on here a little bit. I don't want to get it too loud. And this is where she explains what happened to them. And if you remember earlier in the film, she was the one that decided to make a stand against the
and
lunatic.
she had the what is that?
Machete.
Machete, and then she dropped it. She was smart, and then she ran.
Right. She ran away. She said, I don't think this is going to work out so well. She ran off. So now he's trying to make a big decision whether, he's going to figure out what can happen with the girls, with the rest of them to try and save them. Let me turn this up a little bit. I'm losing some of my audio in the background. Oh, I see what's going on. I have the volume down on the monitor. she's trying to save herself.
They were trying to leave her. Well, they weren't trying to leave her.
Right.
The guy was just like, okay, that's it.
Right.
We got to save ourselves.
Right. And again, that was one line I stole from Chuck Norris, from Chuck Norris's movies, all in the 80s, when he did all those Vietnam movies where he went and got people and brought them back. Everybody goes home. Mm-hmm. And this is the car that I mentioned earlier. It was owned by Keith Villot. And I think I said it already, but I'll just say it again. And I still can't figure out, I know some of you guys out there, if you're watching the behind the scenes, they'll know what kind of car it is. Mm-hmm. And it was a really popular car at that time. And there was a waiting list to get it. And he said literally 4 times some people tried to steal it from his house. 4 different groups of people. And he said the last time they had started it, they didn't start it. They had somehow got it in neutral and they were pushing it down the street so that he wouldn't hear them.
How did we get this shot? You must have been
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm glad you said that. This is that long lens I talked about that came on top of that Elmo 1012 XL, one of my favorite cameras, but it had a really long focal length. And we were all the way up on the top of the ridge overlooking the highway. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to get that shot. It almost looked like I had a helicopter view.
Exactly, it's so high. You would, and nowadays they would use a drone.
A drone, exactly. It looks like I had a drone shot. And that was way before these private drones we have now. I'm checking to make sure, yeah, we're still recording. I got to keep my eye on that little camera we're using. So this is my ode to
Sylvester
Stallone, right? He puts on the face paint. He puts on the camo. He's got his weapons belt, and his bandolier. I think they used to call that with the shotgun shells and his pistol,
his stance,
and his boots, and full camo. And I mentioned earlier, I think that this shotgun, we got it for a prop for an earlier movie. I can't remember when, or we might have got it for this movie, and we bought it from a gun shop in Culver City out in California, and it was an old antique shotgun. And I got it because it looked good, and it just fit the right price.
Did he bring his own wardrobe?
Yeah. We talked about what he was going to wear, and he told me, he said, you know what, I do have this camo pants and camo shirt, and I said, that sounds perfect. So yeah, he came ready to go. And I think I mentioned also too, another one of these long focal length panning shots that makes it look like I had a dolly or a steady cam or something like that. I love those shots up there because we had so much room to do that stuff.
And no one bothered us.
No,
I mean, you could just shoot. No one said anything.
Yep. And Brian, yeah, I think it was Brian. He, like I said, he had a hard time carrying her, but I didn't even realize that she was almost the size he was. But he made it. He did it.
All the actors in every movie we've done have always been exceedingly
Right,
good
we've been
and,
pretty
and,
lucky.
and cooperative
and I think it's because too we don't act, or we never did act like, portrayed ourselves bigger than what we were. We told them what we were doing, and we told them what to expect, and we lived up to it.
And I think we also, which is rare, probably, we had respect for our actors.
Yes.
And their time and their talent and their efforts that they were putting in to every production.
And I think that's why I had a good experience as a director too, because I was an actor and I took actors seriously, and I could empathize with them. I knew what they had to go through, and and how important these roles are to them, even if they're smaller roles, because these small roles will help them lead on to other larger projects. Well, that's the hope. And again, I think this scene here, this is.
Can you imagine they were sitting in all that grass?
Right. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. She's getting a little bit of bugs, but it wasn't bad like it was earlier deep into Angela's Forest.
She's bleeding again.
And that kind of makes me think this might have been somewhere in Griffith Park, but I'm not sure though.
Look at those.
Those trees are smaller. Yeah.
They're different.
Well, the more we move her, the more she's gonna bleed.
Shut up, Linda. If that was you, you would have been you. So don't say it again.
He had to stand up to her. And here comes the war hero trying to come in to look for his brother and their friends, and he's all ready for battle. Oh, and he found a body. This was a random body that the lunatic had killed, and we didn't actually see how the lunatic killed her or how he met her. But if you look closely, when he turns her over, that's Andrea playing a double role. And Patricia did that makeup.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, you covered her all up. I said cover her all up in blood and cotton and stuff, and make it look like
that's right.
she was all mangled up. And we couldn't even tell it was her. You didn't even know it was her just now, did you?
Yeah, I should go get a job as a special. I should have done that, work for Alex.
Look, we can carry it together. You get her shoulders and I'll get it.
And we had put a black wig on her. And actually, that might have been one of the. No, it wasn't. I was trying to think if that was one of the wigs that Rocky had worn in Steps from Hell. I don't remember. But we always kept all of our old props. I remember the prop bag I used to bring all the time with just random props that might not even been for the movie, in case we had to do a quick rewrite on the set and change something. And there again, there goes my long focal length virtual dolly shot. I love that. I tried to find every opportunity I could to use it.
We use it a lot in this movie.
Yes. Because I'm like, you know, wow, about 100 or 200 feet away from him, zoomed all the way in, a nice steady tripod that we had, so I could follow him. It worked out really nice. I don't remember where we got that bandolier belt with shotgun shells. I can't remember where I got that, but or
Maybe
what happened to
Rocky
it.
got it?
Yeah, maybe so. My brother Rocky, who's playing the Lunatic, he was always into weapons and gun collecting, so he would provide a lot of props for us.
What?
Mm-hmm. And I think Ani really did, when she did that trip, she really did hurt her ankle a little bit. I told her to do it easy, and that's why I went in and got a close-up of it. But I think she did it a little bit too hard, and she ended up hurting her ankle a little bit. And again, this is another faraway shot that we used with the Lunatic
just
sitting
there
there
waiting
to ambush her. And no one came to look for him.
Did he slide down that
Uh-huh.
Oh, she kicked him around.
And this is where our action starts to actually pick up, and it just keeps going. This is our third act here, so it really picked up. And he got knocked out there, so that was another simple effect I think Patricia probably did, with the blood on the rock and the head.
Oh, he's killing her.
He's strangling her, yeah. She's the one that got away, temporarily. And then Rocky was holding her up by her elbows in this shot right here. And I told her, and she kicking her feet and stuff. That was another thing I used a lot when because he was strong enough to hold up all these
And
actors.
he was so much taller than all of them. He's probably like, what, 6'5", 6'6"?
Yeah, 6'4". And then Rocky told him to hold on and, you know, just to hold on. And a lot of times with these stunts, I would tell them what I wanted them to do and let them try to figure out how to do it. And whoever was taking the brunt of the beating, I would always tell them to, you know, they had to sell it. They had to make it look like they were really being choked because the other person was holding them lightly.
Right.
And even with this, I remember this one when Rocky was choking him. You know, we had to give him a little bit of extra coaching to sell it. And then this was another effect coming up here that I think Alex did this. I can't actually, and you know what? I can't remember what's coming up, but I know her demise is coming and some kind of effect. She's
Linda's
freaking
like,
out.
no, I don't think so. I'm gonna run.
I don't think Susan is dead. I think.
He didn't kill them.
He didn't kill her. Oh, he did strangle her. He
He strangled her, but he didn't kill him.
No, he just beat him up bad. So now they have to help him out. That's right. He did kill Susan. He killed her by strangling her. I forgot. I thought it was. I was getting confused with the ending that's coming up for Linda.
Oh, okay.
There's an effect coming up that Alex did for us. So they're limping down the hill, and this actually is really leading down from the Angeles Forest to up higher areas where we did most of the shooting, and this is leading down towards the parking lot. So we really were working our way as we were shooting. We're really working our way back to the parking lot. And that's another thing that we always did a lot. We tried to shoot in order because as an actor, that helps them with their performance. Sometimes you're forced to shoot out of order. There's nothing you can do about it. But the more you can shoot in order, the better for them as far as their performance goes. Because they don't have to jump around like, okay, this scene I'm hurt, this scene I'm not hurt, this scene I'm tired.
Marley's tummy is hurt bad. We have to leave him here and go get help.
No, Linda, I can't leave him.
Marley, we have to. We can't move fast enough dragging him along. We have to.
Linda's trying to talk reason to Marley, but she doesn't want to hear it.
All right, let's do it.
And if you listen real closely, you could hear at that's one moment, and maybe one or two moments in the whole film, Super 8 cameras made a lot of noise. And that moment, you could hear it. I had to make a homemade blimp to blimp the cameras so that we wouldn't get the sound of the camera on the soundtrack, because we were shooting.
Who's this coming?
This is the doctor who did the test on Lunatic with his two assistants. They finally arrived to search down Lunatic. They sure took their sweet time.
Yeah, so Doc, how are we gonna find you before you walk?
Yeah, I mean, this ain't like it's no backyard or something, you know?
That's why I got this.
His tracking device.
Yes. Oh, you remember?
That's a transistorized psycho homing device.
And her name was Annie Word. She was a good actress too. She was in a couple of our projects.
There's a sending beacon implanted in Walker's
Oh, I remember her. now.
She did a couple of things with it. I think she was in the movie with Lemmy, the one Lemmy we did with Lemmy.
So how we gonna do this?
Oh, you can just silence it. That's okay. And if you notice, that tracking device is also, I used to make a lot of things out of old obsolete cell phones. And I think that was an antenna. Or no, that could have been oh look, that was part of a bicycle turn signal thing for a bicycle. And then I also used those things you hook on the back of your bicycle, run by batteries to tell you to turn it left or right. And then I also used
The signal thing.
yeah, that signal thing. But I also used the antenna was from a citizen band radio, a portable citizen band radio that I modified to look like the psycho homing device. I didn't remember that shot. That's when we gave away a little bit of how he holds them up. I was supposed to be tighter in on that shot, I think, because remember he was holding her under her butt and choking her. And this was good too. And I had to really make sure that he didn't hurt her, because
He
when
didn't
they were
hurt
kids, he didn't hurt his sister. Because when they were kids, they'd fight all the time. But they weren't that big. He wasn't that big.
He was actually much little.
Yeah. And this is giving her a gore dance. And she survives that. And then she comes, I like that shot too, where she comes into the foreground and sees what's happening and then just runs to hide. And after all that beating, she's still
alive.
and she couldn't die because she's the hero. Oh, okay. Now this was another shot that I really liked. It really worked out. Special effect from Alex.
Do we still have that?
Yes, I think I still have it. And if you notice, you'll see on the close-up, she jabbed him in the eye with that stick, and you see the close-up. He made a mold of Rocky's face so we could do that effect of the eye pulling out.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. The only thing I should have done if I had known back then, I would have moved the mold a little bit, like in that tight shot. And this is another shot. This is another effect shot that Alex did that I got confused. I thought this was used on one of the actresses earlier, Susan, but no, this is coming up as an effect where she gets stabbed by the lunatic. After she stabbed him in the eye, then she stabbed him back. And he stabbed her back. But yeah, I really love that eye effect. We still have the prop now, the cast that he made of his face, and the prop eye with the stick in it.
She's the only one who didn't fight.
Right. She decided to give up, right? And I love that how easily he could pick her up. And that's another effect Alex did for us with the blood pumping out, and he had hoses running down there, and then he thought of that shot, which was great, an insert shot of the blood dripping on her foot. And this was another shot. I don't remember. Obviously, I was above her, but I don't even remember doing that shot.
Look at Bernardo and
Bernardo,
his crew.
right? And Bernardo, I said earlier, he was in he was Vlad in our one of my earlier films, Steps from Hell. And he went on to do some television and some movies. I think he works in nonprofit in California, a director of some program. And he also taught acting for a while too.
Ray? Ray? Oh, Ray!
That's funny.
This is they had 2 simple deaths. And there's the broken psycho-homing device.
He just ran.
Oh yeah, I can't remember how we got her up there. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
she climbed up there. We helped her. Rocky must have helped her a little.
No, I'm afraid I guess I'm okay. You see, Tony? I don't know. She ran it off.
I must have missed the scene we were talking. Because it was a scene where he covered up his brother so that he could go look for the rest of them.
No, they covered him up.
Oh, they covered him up.
Yeah.
Oh, and he found him. Okay, he must have found him and knew that he was okay. Yeah, I forgot that was talking. And this is another one coming out down towards the car. So this is coming to the
end.
conclusion. Yes. And he's showing him the way out. He just came in. And everybody, the brother made it, and the brother's girlfriend, and everyone else didn't make it. And the lunatic made it. So they're coming out, and she finds the way. Oh, they found Linda. They didn't know that she had died. And the stick that was holding her up, that the lunatic had impaled her with, broke off, and she fell down. Another simple effect using what we had available to us out there. Alex had made that prop too. Worked out nice. There's a little rig underneath her shirt to hold it. And then when the blood had to pump out, he had wires leading up there that would pump the blood.
Dad, why don't we just get Tony and get out of here? I've got to stop him. You have 24, but I'm not letting him get away with this.
You know, man, let's just get over it with that.
This guy's killed 2 of your friends. He's almost killed my brother.
And they don't know all the other people
People he killed, right.
Man,
Right.
this ain't Vietnam, all right? This is up for you.
Damn it, this guy is insane. They're just gonna stick him back in hospital again?
That's right.
What happens if he gets out?
Can you? Get him.
So she changes her mind pretty quick. He gave her a nice pep talk. And here comes the lunatic.
He must have heard him.
Yeah. And I remember this fight they worked out. Yeah. Yeah. Him and Rocky choreographed this. And she's cheerleading them. And look at all the bushes matted into Rocky's back. And I don't think I had a separate uniform for him either, a wardrobe. After all his tough talking, he went down pretty quick.
Max live?
Yeah, yeah.
Grab
I always laugh because they're brother and sister, and they when they're little, they always just get into arguments and stuff. And he was so little when he was little for a little while. Oh, and this was we substituted another handgun. Yeah, see, that's a substitute. He pulled out and this was a substitute. I can't remember whose weapon that was I borrowed. And I got some blanks from one of my friends who's an armorer, Mike Tristano, went on to become a big-time weapons and special effects guy in Hollywood. You look him up on IMDb. He's literally almost probably over 1,000 projects he's been the armorer on and special effects, but mostly weapons for movies and television. Oh, that's right. He had given him the shotgun to hold.
Oh,
to
that's
protect
why.
himself.
That's why he had the.
Yeah. And so and couldn't get away with that nowadays, firing blanks in a national forest. But
We would have some type
yes.
of criminal time.
But now I actually don't have to do it anymore with the digital effects. Even on a lower end, I can put gun blast and muzzle blast and everything, just sitting right here on my computer. But I still love the practical effects. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. And so now they're making their way up to the parking lot, and they think the conclusion is there. He shot the lunatic. He brought the weapon. He shot him. So everything seems to be fine, which is our classic false ending. And there he is.
She's like, oh no.
And that was a line from one of the guys in Vauxhall. A guy who was kind of like a town drunk or something, and he used to have this line. Actually, no, that was Sam. That was the guy's name one of the lines from the husband and wife who argued all the time. He told him, he said, "You're already dead. You're just too lazy just too mean to lay your ass down."
You made sure he's dead.
He's dead this
he's
time.
Not coming back.
Right. And that was another simple effect I think we did ourselves. It was real simple. And that pavement was hot. I told Rocky, I said, "Can you take it for a moment?"
Oh, he killed Bernardo?
No, he was hiding in there.
Oh.
And that was the doctor that was supposed to strap the lunatic. He was hiding in their car. And we did kind of like a false ending, so you couldn't tell whether he was dead or not. And Rocky was right by the car, and he was saying, "Make sure you put that car in forward." And then we didn't make it conclusive or not whether the lunatic was completely gone. And we see he's still bleeding. We see the blood coming down.
Even though they slit his throat, we don't know whether he's dead.
He's dead or not, right?
Oh yeah,
So
lunatic,
yeah, it's Rocky Tucker. Marley was Andrea. And then Max Keith Velo, I had that right. And then Tony was Brian DeLawrence.
Linda Bronwyn.
Bronwyn St. John.
You had a great memory.
I was pretty quick on him.
Who's BJ?
BJ was Cameron. He was the boyfriend that went camping. Tony's friend.
Oh, okay.
Caucasian
And
guy.
Hal was
Ernest Jackson.
Jackson.
Yes.
And Rookie.
Tina was Rookie McPherson. Yeah, they were great. They were the mother and father that are arguing all the time. And
Which
then Tammy was Susan Spain, the one that had this machete.
Okay.
And the newsman was Tim.
Okay.
And then the two hikers. Oh yeah, hiker 1 and 2 was Jason Volk and Joe Deedle. And then Dr. North was Bernardo. And who?
But Mark Bethea.
Oh, yeah. He was. I had a friend in college, but that wasn't him. His name was Bethea. He was a football player. And then Annie Word. Those were the two orderlies that went out with to help find the lunatic with Bernardo at the end. And then homeless man Ted, as we mentioned. And then
Alex Diaz.
Yes.
Oh, they're all.
Then here are the girls at the pool.
Girls at the pool. That was
you
very
see their
good.
names in the credits. They all did a great job.
Television. Oh, shut up.
Special effects,
people.
Alex. And then some other people helped us along the way. And then our production assistant, I forgot her name, Elena, and I could never remember her last name. She helped us a number of days on the set, and she was really good. She came out there and helped us out. And then Alex had his assistant, Adrian, who helped him out sometimes on the set. Yes, and the music, this great music was by William Bressler. I met him over the internet, and I had, I was saying that I was crediting Tony with this music, but no, this was William Bressler. And we met over the internet, and he had saw some of my earlier films, and he had sent me like an unsolicited sample, and I liked his stuff, and then I sent him
look at
few
the
scenes,
dedication.
and then you never saw it, huh?
Oh.
Yeah, she never watched the credits. I dedicated the movie to my wife and my daughter Morgan,
That
who
was
always
30
helped me
years.
out. Yep. And Morgan was only 1 year old.
She wasn't even a year.
She wasn't even 1 year old.
No,
Yeah.
she wasn't. Just a couple months.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching our commentary, and I thank you, Patricia, for always
Thank
helping
you,
me out.
James.
And we will look forward to seeing you again. Probably me.
1983.
Yeah, probably me on another commentary. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for watching.
All right. Have a nice evening.
Bye-bye.